Hi guys, welcome to Vesna TV Home. In today's video, I'm going to show you a transformation of my craft room, but it's kind of in 3 stages because I had started this transformation in the summer and never quite finished. So let's get to it. So it all kind of happened unexpectedly because I had decided that I wanted to redo our family room down in the basement. The pandemic kind of pushed us to use our house better so that it would be a more inviting space, like all over the rooms in our house. So we decided to redo our family room, which I can link the renovation to that here. In doing that, we realized we needed kind of a nice cabinet for the TV. So I had a nice long, well, an ugly long cabinet that I transformed into, I think, a beautiful farmhouse piece. So I'll link that here as well. And in doing that, I had to take everything out and kind of put it all over the place. But I also wound up freeing those stackable shelves. They're not stackable, they're the cube shelves from IKEA. I was able to free up those because they were full of books, but because I had made bookshelves in the family room, I was able to free all of that up. So I really wanted to redo my craft room so it would make sense. Like right now, it's a disaster, as you can see. I refinished this piece as well, so I can link that video here as well. But I wanted my craft room to have a spot where I'm working, so that desk was always kind of in the middle there, but I wanted it to be in a corner so I could be surrounded by my supplies and not have to, go searching for them as I needed them. And I wanted to have, so like I said, a painting space, a sewing space, a little space for epoxy, and then I wanted a stand-up office type of thing in case we had to continue to work from home. So so the room itself is very well lit. It has beautiful windows, even if it's in the basement. So it's beautiful. It's a very inviting space. I wanted to paint out the wall. The wall was kind of like a beigey, yellowy, I don't know, browny, light brown color. So I just made it, it looks more beige here, but it's actually a light kind of grayish white color, and you'll see better in other pictures. I went up painting the room, even though it probably didn't need to be painted, but it gave it a nice fresh up and it brightened it even more. So just before we move on, I just wanted to do a shout out to the organizers of this challenge. Unicorn Desk Designs, Jamie from Simple Roots Simple Living, and Andy from Andy Jones. Amazing people to watch. So if you haven't watched their channels, make sure you check them out. They are super creative and really talented ladies. So check them out. I'll have all of their information linked in my description below. And Sammy from Unicorn Desk Designs does signs and DIYs. Jamie from Simple Roots Simple Living does all sorts of different DIYs, and same with Andy Jones. Andy Jones has a live portion to her that she does as well. And if you guys haven't watched Annie from Andy Jones, she is so much fun to watch. She comes as all sorts of different personalities in a lot of her episodes. So you'll have a hoot watching her. So make sure you check all 3 ladies out. Everything will be linked in my description below, as will the playlist. And then I created all these spaces. So I created my stand-up desk just using some shelving and some pieces of wood. I created all these beautiful spaces, but as you can see, like, it's a disaster. So I picked up this cabinet, like china cabinet from the thrift store. I love it. I think it's a beautiful cabinet. And originally I had been using it to store paint, but then I found that because I have a table that I open up, it's a nice long plastic table when I'm painting either signs or a piece of furniture. It's a good because you can lift it up or down depending on the height. So sometimes I put it in front of that china cabinet, but it makes it hard to get into it. And paint I use all the time. So then I reorganize that, and in that china cabinet I keep my seasonal decor. So right now it's full of Valentine's Day and winter themed decor, and then in the closet I have all of my leftover Christmas crafts and fall crafts. Not that I have that many leftover, but I have, a bin full of them. Then I wanted to keep a chair in here, a nice comfy chair. Originally I had a couch in here, so that we moved out as well. That's why it was such a disaster at the beginning, because we moved the couch into the family room so we have a nice couch to sit on, and then moved this chair into here because it's a nice spot for me to edit my videos, to look for inspirations, to read, whatever. And then because we are now homeschooling because schools are closed and I'm working from home, I wanted to redo the space a little bit. I had been using it for homeschooling in the spring, but I wanted to make it a little bit better for my little guy, and so that I could do my work and he could do his work at the same time. And then if while I was working, he can craft. So that's what I didn't change the layout, I just changed his little spot a little bit. So I started with kind of decluttering and making sure that everything was, reorganized. All the Christmas stuff was in one side, all the Valentine stuff was there, all the paint was put away. It was just basically cleaning, which I had, like I said, I had kind of let it go. I moved that little plastic bin that had the drawers into the corner here because it's just extra flowers and just kind of like a mishmash of things. And so I moved it into like by the window beside the cube shelf because there was an empty spot there and it fit perfectly. I still have access to it, and it gave me a little spot for my flowers and for my flower and for the power bar, because the power bar was on the floor, and then when I'm plugging and unplugging either the light or the glue gun, it was kind of hard to get to it. So this way it's right at, within arm's reach. And then I put my sharpener there as well, because then I can just sit and sharpen if I need to sharpen a pencil or a pencil crayon or anything like that. I wound up organizing my flowers, making sure that I took out all of the Christmas flowers, and I keep them in this little corner here. This is where my sewing stuff was. But I'm getting rid of the sewing machine until I'm going to sell that one, and then I'm going to get one that's easier to use, because apparently that one's too hard for me to use. If I get one, if I don't, doesn't matter. And I'm going to repurpose that corner for my heat press. And just before we move on, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Vesna. This is my home channel, but I also have a Vesna TV DIY channel where I make all of these DIYs, and then I showcase kind of room transformations, any big renovations, and shopping hauls on this channel. So if you're ever interested in how to make some of these things, head on over to my DIY channel, and then always come over here because this is where I do my home tours, room transformations, major renovations, and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, leave me a message, let me know what you think and that you're here. I'd love to hear from you. And hit that big notification bell so you can see more of my new videos. So here's my stand-up desk. I cleaned this up. What I did here, we got a TV that I put in here. Actually, it's from our bedroom. And I put my laminator there too. My laptops are there. And then just underneath, because it is a standing desk, I have room, I put scrap wood. And a chair that I've had for about a year and a half that I still need to reupholster and redo. But for now, it holds my scrap wood. I cleaned up the chair so it's actually a spot that I can sit. I have my light and my camera stand set up there, and that doesn't really move. Then I've got a new shelf liner on my desk. I was trying to find, I see all of you ladies and gentlemen that do DIYs. I've seen you have like a barn board type of shelf liner or something, something or tablecloth or whatever. I could not find anything like that. This is the most neutral one that I found right now, and it'll do for now. I'm planning on painting out the desk and just putting a clear tablecloth over top, but for now it'll do. Then I have my glue gun here, and I have this little stand that I picked up from the dump, and I have the glue gun little bin on top. I will be creating an actual glue gun stand. Now my Cricut I've decided to cover. I saw a post of a lady whose Cricut was really, really dirty, and I thought, well, I do a lot of sanding and stuff. I don't want it to get too dirty. Then here I have this covered, not because it's necessarily messy, but because it's not pretty. So it's all organized. I have a bin, well, two bins with burlap and ribbons. I've got a bin that holds all the glue and tape and anything that has to do with gluing. Then I have the little container with my tools, so my pliers, screwdrivers, and then the paint pens. And then I have a bin with some projects that I can work on, little ones that I bought at the thrift store. And then I have another bin that has floral wire, bits and pieces of any kind of rope or anything like that. And then at the bottom, that's not the most accessible because I don't use it all the time, I have my epoxy stuff and just different pieces of cardboard that I might be able to use. And then one more bin that has all of my spray paints, and that's accessible. I also have my spray bottle with water and vinegar on the floor there, just in case I need it for a project. Then I have all of my scrap vinyl, my Cricut stuff, scrap pieces of paper, different shelf liners for the Cricut, as well as the Teflon papers for the heat press. Then I organize my vinyl for heat transfer and regular vinyl and non-permanent vinyl. And then here I just have my cutter, my miter saw, some wood pieces, and other tools. And then I ordered these. I don't know why I didn't realize that they were just cardboard, but I didn't realize. I thought they were plastic. And I just have different tools. Like I have some double-sided tape. I have my hair dryer for drying, some of the faux fur leftover, little bits and pieces of foam paper, and then different cardstock as well. And then I just wanted to show you underneath here as well. It's all organized. I've got paints, and then I've got the two boxes that have paint supplies, different, so I have acrylic paints, regular paints, wax, and then any tools that I would use for painting, and then one little, which doesn't really have to do with DIY, but one little cube with my scrapbooking stuff and extra greeting cards. And the little egg cartons on the sides I use for paint when I'm doing acrylic paint or anything like that, just so I'm not using a container and I can just use it and throw it away. And I really try to put this in a way that it's very accessible, so I can just turn around and grab what I need, so that way I can use it and put it away, and I don't have an excuse of not putting things away. So this corner here is the homeschool or study corner for my son. I've got posters set up there for him and the little station with whiteboards and markers and his binder and everything he needs. And what I do is I just switch my chair around and I bring it so that he can use my craft table as his Zoom call table. Then this in here is the china cabinet with all of my seasonal craft stuff. So I do have some thrifted items in there too that I might work on, but I've tried to organize it by signs, florals, fabrics, stickers, and anything like that. But it's just the not Christmas, Valentine's Day and winter stuff with some thrifted items. And so this side was formerly my sewing side, which I still might, like I said, make a sewing side, but right now I've just got extra stuff that didn't fit in the cabinet. I've got the table set up there with my heat press, so if I need to press anything, it's got a nice clean spot to press it. All those bins up there are different papers and memories for scrapbooking. Then I've got my epoxy station there, as well as just this piece of wood just to protect those cabinets if I'm epoxying, or if I want to put things to dry, I can put them there. And then my stand-up office, and that chair, if it gets in my way, it's not, but if it gets in my way, I can easily move it. And here's just a picture of the entire room. I've also added some curtains that aren't sheer on the big window because sometimes the sun is so bright that filming it makes it very hard because there's too many shadows. So it's not the prettiest space, but it works for me. There's lots of work to be done with it still. I would like to eventually paint everything one color, make those boxes and bins all one color and hopefully the same ones, maybe add some more shelving. But for right now, this is the way it'll be until either I find something that's more cost effective or have extra time where I can do this. I am very lucky to have this space. Right now, it's like a 3-room type of space. It's a homeschooling room, a home office, and a craft room. But I'm so lucky to have this space, to have such beautiful windows, to have the natural light, and to feel like I'm kind of partly outside when I'm working down here. So very lucky to have this. But even when I didn't, I still just worked on a little table and made it all work. So I hope you enjoyed my transformation. I know there's still lots of work to be done here, but it's working right now. I will show you some of the videos at the end here of things that I talked about in here in case you missed it in above. And thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And also make sure you remember to check out the hosts of this channel and check out the playlist so you can see all the other people in their amazing craft rooms. Thank you so much. Have a great day and stay safe, everyone.